Hello YouTube, I'm back with the next My Little Pony review, and today I'm reviewing Fugitive Flowers. And as the name might suggest, we got a couple of flowers that are really like weeds, because when you look at a weed and if you let it grow in your grass for a while, you probably know that it's not going to be good for your lawn. Your lawn's probably going to end up suffering at some point, or you're going to have weeds all over the place. And as it turned out, Posey would find this out the hard way by taking in a couple of basically anthropomorphic flowers that are actually criminals. They're actually running from the law, basically, because they've got what are called crab nasties, and these are like policemen slash crabs sort of thing. But of course, they don't let Posey know that. They only let Posey know she's the one that's in charge of her own garden, akin to Fluttershy, but actually much less annoying, really. But Posey takes them in, gives them plenty of nutrients, which is exactly what they want, because they actually end up plotting against her after that, overnight, and end up growing to a point where they're out of control. After they become massive and basically unstoppable. And in fact, what's worse is that because Posey actually believes the flurries, as they are called, their whole story, the whole lie, they actually get the crab nasties basically thrown in jail for this kind of false accusation, which is ironic considering the fact that they're the ones falsely accusing the crab nasties, not the other way around. And of course, eventually they get out of control, and basically none of them can stop them except they realize, now we gotta get the crab nasties out, and we have to regain their trust. They do, but even then, it's not easy, because the only way they manage to succeed is when they get one of the flurries to actually nearly get on the edge, like barely hanging on, by the skin of its leaves if you go on a cliff. And then they say, okay, we'll let you go if you actually, I forget what they ended up doing, but they propose a deal that ends up actually working. They end up, things stop after that, because they realize they're in a total predicament they're not getting out of unless they follow the, put up their end of the deal, so. And unfortunately, this is the only time you see both of them, so. Although I think the voices are familiar. I think Crabnest is at least the captain, if you will, that you end up hearing more often. I think he's been in other, cartoons or something. Because I seem to recognize his voice. But it's kind of interesting. You see what they come up with, even during the 80s. You can see what they come up with for character designs. Not your typical human, or like even in the G1 movie, where it's all typical animals that you see every day. These are typically not animals. You're not going to see crabs, especially their size, running around anytime soon, I don't think. But I would definitely give this a shot. It's only 2 parts, actually. And if you're this might actually be somewhat helpful in terms of if you're a gardener, because kind of like I said, you learn the hard way that weeds, if left unattended, will ruin your lawn one way or another, and they'll definitely ruin your property value. I'm sure of that. No one's going to want to buy a house that has a bunch of weeds in it. They're going to want it to be clean and nice looking and having to do very little work when they actually get the house. So, yeah, that's my review on Fugitive Flowers. Thanks for watching.